Transformers of Eternia.
You're watching Transformers of Eternia. Now today I want to talk about the recent reveal of Masters of the Universe-Thundercats, a new toy crossover that's coming out very soon. But before I do that,
if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And thank you for checking out my channel. Now back to the show.
Okay, so we got Lion-O here. Okay, so this Lion-O on the right here, that's a Super 7 version. I figured I'd put that on there as a comparison so you can kind of get a look at what the character's supposed to look like and what the new version looks like over on the left. And the new version is the Masters of the Universe crossover version, obviously, but this is more of a armored, like alternate version, like with armor and extra stuff, which I appreciate them actually doing that. I think it's kind of cool that they're actually going for the Thundercats because, I mean, that's something that they should have gone for a while back, I think, because that kind of fits better than Ninja Turtles. But anyway, so this version of Lion-O has like an armor on his shoulder and all this extra stuff. Now, you could take all this stuff off, and it looks like you could just put on all the pieces to make him look like exactly like the original, basically. But I do notice that the paint is off on this. I'm sure they'll fix it. But the paint, like that little lighter paint underneath his nose on the right there, well, it's a little bit above his nose on the left on the new version. So I don't know what's going on there. They overdid it with the paint. And it's a lot more yellow and more bright. It's kind of off. I think it should be more muted, a little bit more like the one on the right there. But we'll see what they do in the paint before this thing actually becomes a physical copy. And hopefully they don't mess it up, because I think that these things are kind of cool. I never collected Thundercats as a kid, but I did respect the brand and I did enjoy it a little bit. Like, I thought it was kind of cool. They had a cool song. You know, I didn't really watch the show that much, though. But yeah, this is pretty cool. And it's good that they're doing these characters. And I'm pretty sure that they're using the cartoon collection molds for like the Filmation style Masters of the Universe figures to do these. Because I think that the body, the build or whatever of the bodies is more rounded and smooth, much like that style of, I guess, mold. Okay, so now we got Cheetara, and she looks pretty good, actually, but I think, I just got to say off the top of my head, that armor, that dark armor that she's wearing, or the little outfit that she's wearing there, I'm pretty sure that comes off, and she could have her normal outfit like normal, so she's not going to look like that. This is like the new Eternia style for the Thundercats, I think, where they're giving them extra stuff. Because she's got a different helmet like tank thing with the hair up on there for like accessories and stuff. And that's like a different thing. So that's interesting that they could take the hair off and do that. But, and her hair does look a little bit more like newer styled, like updated, I guess. It looks kind of cool, actually, compared to the Super 7 one over there. I think the newer hair actually looks cooler, I think. But anyway, this is Cheetara. I mean, it does look similar, but I could definitely see where they could definitely touch up this paint and change the coloring a little bit. So it's a little more orange, I think, to kind of, because I think it just should look a lot more like the Super 7 one over on the right. But that's just the way it is. I don't know. We'll see what they do with this and how they change the paint when it comes out finally. So anyway, this one here is interesting. Now, clearly they got this from a comic book, a crossover comic book with Thundercats and Masters of the Universe. And this one is where basically Battle Cat or Cringer turns into a Battle Cat man instead of turning into Battle Cat. And it's kind of weird, though, that they don't have that giant Thundercat symbol on his chest. Like you see in the comic book there. That's the reason why I put this image from the comic book in there, to kind of give you an idea as to what they're trying to do here and kind of what they're going for. And it's kind of interesting that they didn't do that, because you can see that armor that's on his chest. Well, underneath it, you don't see a giant yellow like Thundercat like logo or anything. So I don't know. I don't know. And he just comes with these giant claws for like weapons, I guess, to go in his hands. I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of cool. I mean, he does look kind of cool. I kind of wish his mouth was open. He was more like fierce looking, more violent looking, like he's gonna kill somebody. And his hands should be yellow according to the picture in the comic book there too. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I do like their like loincloth now, because that comes off, and I'm pretty sure that loincloth can be used down the road to make like 2000X style Masters of the Universe figures. I'm pretty sure that's what they're getting ready to do. Because why are they making these loincloths suddenly now in all these? It's longer loincloth. It just looks better. It just looks more like the 2000X cartoon. So I'm pointing that out so you can have some customs for these things. Because I'm pretty sure that we're going to see some 2000X stuff that's going to be coming up here. And that'll be in the cartoon collection line eventually, I imagine. But I don't know if they'll get there right away, since they have Filmation. They have so many Filmation things to do still, I imagine. But that's just something I noticed and I wanted to point out, because I'm going to be definitely using some of these for some customs and stuff. Okay, so now we got Mumm-Ra. Of course we're going to get this one. This one's $29.99, by the way. Those other ones are $19.99, looks like, for the pricing. And this one here is interesting because it's Mumm-Ra, and he's got that cape blowing in the wind or whatever. And it's red in the back. And this looks kind of cool. His mouth's wide open, which is, I guess he does look like that. But anyway, it's kind of weird that his mouth's wide open. But I don't know. Maybe I guess that might be better for him, because he does do that. So anyway, so yeah, he looks really cool. He looks like Mumm-Ra. He looks bigger. So I hope he's bigger. I hope he's a lot bigger than like Lion-O and stuff. But anyway, so he comes with these extra parts, and that's the interesting part about this guy. This is where you really do see the shine of the Masters of the Universe crossing over with the Thundercats, because you can actually see those parts, like I said, the loincloth down there for Skeletor that comes off, and that's very cool, because that's going to be great for customs later. So you can do a bunch of 2000X style figures, which is, I've been waiting for this. This is kind of cool. But also you get that armor there that has the hood with the horns and the Skeletor face in there. And of course you get the weapon or whatever with the double-sided sword type of thing, whatever that is. Anyway, but it's just kind of cool that we get the Skeletor version like this. And of course, I don't know. I don't like the horns, really. I don't really like the horns on Skeletor. I know a lot of people do. I'm sure a lot of you guys like the stuff with the horns. Like, kind of like the show that Netflix did. He had horns in that at one point, I think. And I just don't care for the goat horn. I get it. I get it. He has a staff, and it has the goat horns type of thing on it. So then it becomes his head instead. I get it. Okay. I'm sure I'm outnumbered on this one, and most people probably actually do like this. But for me, I just never liked that. It's just not really my thing. I like Skeletor because he's got a skeleton face. And I do like the hood. If it didn't have the horns on it, I think I would like this more, because I like how the hood actually connects to the actual thing that he's wearing, unlike the normal Skeletor, where the hood is like separate from the thing, and it always drives me nuts that it's not connected to his actual armor. But anyway, this is cool, and it makes sense because Mumm-Ra is blue, and then you basically flip the cape so that it's the opposite, and then it turns like purplish to match his Skeletor's armor and everything. So this actually is kind of cool, but Skeletor, once again, he's going to be bigger because he's got the Mumm-Ra body. But anyway, this is really interesting that they're doing it this way. But yeah, see, this stems from the comic books. Once again, I just decided I would weave this in, because if you look at him in the comic books, he doesn't have that look. His face and his head is way different. it just seems like I don't know, it's weird. I don't know what they're doing here. So I don't know why they changed things. I don't know. But anyway, so this does come from a comic book, clearly. Clearly they got these ideas from the comic book. So that's the crossover thing. And I mean, it's cool and everything that they're doing this. It's just, it's like, well, you know, why don't you just copy the comic book exactly? Especially with like Battle Cat Man or whatever. Battle Cat Man looks cooler in the comic books than he does in the actual crossover toy. So I don't know. But I think Battle Cat Man is cool, but it's just, he's not as cool looking as he looks in the comic book. But yeah, you could see where they're coming from on this, so I just figured I'd point that out. So here's the comic book cover, some of the images that I found online. Now, I've never actually read these comic books, so just forgive me if I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just looking at these things, and I can see the definite like crossover stuff going on here. And it's kind of cool that they have that Master Universe battle, like Thundercats logo and everything. And it kind of makes sense to see Skeletor working with Mumm-Ra and everything, because these things fit in the same universe. It's like these are two planets that are next to each other, and it's like they could have crossovers all day long. Because Thundercats and Master Universe came out at the same time. They had big like body types that are almost the same in the toys, and they've really kind of fit almost in the same line. I mean, the toys were a little bit taller than the Master Universe in the original thing, but it's like nowadays they kind of fit. So I can actually see them using these molds for the Masters of the Universe to actually make Thundercats out of. And I actually like the idea. I think it's a very cool idea. So anyway, if they're going to do this line and they're going to do it in the Masters of the Universe molds, then how are they going to do this version of Mumm-Ra? That's the question I have to ask. This is like skinny little mini old senior citizen version of Mumm-Ra, and we got to get this old decayed version of Mumm-Ra in some way or shape or form, and it has to be posable. You know, it's just this was in the cartoon, so you really do kind of have to have this if you're going to have the big giant muscle bound Mumm-Ra, you know. So I'm just kind of wondering how they're going to do it, what style like mold they're going to use for this, or how they're going to do it. I just want to see how they do this. But I think this is just something I had to throw in there because it makes me wonder. It just makes me curious. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to kind of mention, just for a little thing to throw in there, is if they're going to do these crossovers, I really would like to see them go back to doing the DC crossover where they actually have Masters of the Universe and the Justice League and all that stuff, because I'd love to see them use these Masters of the Universe molds and turn them into Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, you know, and all the Justice League members. I would like to see them in this mold, not like the classics version like they did in the past. I actually want to see them using the Origins type of molding, you know, or even the cartoon collection mold or whatever. Because those, I think, would look and they would just fit well, and they'd be totally posable to go with the DC characters as well. But anyway, that's just a side anyway, what I wanted to say. But anyway, tell me what you think about these things in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.